Hello, welcome to Talisman Digital Edition. I like to provide a little bit of different content on my channel. I don't have time to record the 3 or 4 series at a time that I'd like to do, ideally. But I like to provide a couple of things that are different from each other, for different tastes. I've been getting a bit roguelike-centric recently, so here, in contrast to WazHack, is something completely different. Unlike anything I've done on the channel before. Talisman! This is a digital adaptation of a Games Workshop board game. The best board game ever made, or at least it was always my favourite. I owned the 2nd edition, and there are some differences between that and this. Well, I say owned, I still own, plus all the expansions. I made a point of collecting them. But anyway, it's basically the same game. And this is, at the moment, available on Steam. It's it's not finished yet. It's still a work in progress, so there may be some things in it that are slightly buggy or things of that nature. But you can buy early access, an early access version, for $11.99 UK, which is about $15 US. It arrived on Steam through Greenlight, so it's one of the Greenlight success projects. At the moment, you can only play against either AI or local multiplayer players. They're intending to put in full online multiplayer for the final release. And frankly, they'll need it, because without online multiplayer, I don't think they can justify that price point. But anyway, enough waffle. Let's get on with it. I'll explain the rules as we go along to try and save this front-end waffling section. Let's go into new game. Okay, the way it works usually... And apologies again, as always, if I'm clearing my throat. I've had this cough for at least 4 weeks now. Okay, the way it works in the rules, in theory, in Talisman, is that everyone chooses a random character. This actually accommodates the house rule of being able to choose a character if you prefer to, but I'm going to stick with the original board game idea of going random. And I'll be up against 3 AI players here. I might have to record all of this in one session. I know you can resume a saved game, but I've never actually tried it. Or resume a game in progress, I should say. So we'll see how it goes. Anyway, let's start the game. Yes, overwrite my existing game in progress that I was using for practice. Alright, so here we go. We'll go first. And as I said, I'll explain the rules as we go along, but I should outline a few basics here to start with. Obviously 4 players. And the game board. Now, the idea, the basic premise, is that the Crown of Kings has come to light. Sorry, the Crown of Command. I was getting confused with Steve Jackson's Sorcery there. Anyone familiar with Sorcery? Let me know in the comments. Anyway, the Crown of Command has come to light, and people have popped up all over the land going in search of it, because the Crown of Command allows you to issue irrefusable commands, so obviously whoever has it is going to be pretty much the ruler of everything. So people have popped up going in search of it. We all know where it is. It's right here in the middle of the board. I don't know if my mouse pointer is going to be on the screen or not, but in there, in the middle of the board, you can see the crown on top of a stone plinth thing. So that's what's going on, basically. The board is divided into 3 sections. There's the outer region, which is around the outer edges of the board. The middle region, rather, which is on the other side of that square river, and it contains this temple and that weird-ass looking door there, and the inner region, which is that blasted, hellish-looking place where the crown lives. And there are certain rules for passing between the regions. It's not easy to do, and the reason the game is called Talisman is because you need to find a talisman in order to open this door into the inner region so that you can go for the Crown of Command. Once you get to the Crown of Command, you don't win the game, you actually have to use it to issue command spells to gradually eliminate other players. So it is actually possible for another player to also get to the crown, do you in, and take the crown for themselves. So anyway, here we go. Let's have a look at which character we drew, shall we? We're the priest. So all the characters have these stats. Strength in red, craft in blue, lives in 4, lives in green, and gold in yellow. There's also Fate here in purple, which didn't exist in the second edition that I had. Clearly it's been added in the 2 or 3 editions since then. I think it got up to 4th edition at one point. And from what I can tell from playing this, Fate, you can spend Fate points in order to re-roll bad dice rolls, basically. But all the characters have these stats. Obviously, some have high strength and low craft. Some have a bit of both. And some, like us, being a priest, have quite low strength and relatively high craft. I think we all start with 1 gold, and we all start with 4 lives, I believe. Now, different characters also have different special abilities. Some, like us, begin with 1 spell card. And if we find ourselves at a location where we can pray, we can add 1 to the dice roll to try and get a better result. And we can automatically destroy any spirits without having to engage them in psychic combat, which is very, very handy. And that'll also allow us to gain a spell. That's very powerful. But we can't use weapons in battle, so that's quite a drawback. We also have an alignment. We're good. Okay, I won't look in too much detail at the other characters at this point. Let's just go, shall we? Enough waffling already. Because we start with a spell, we have to draw a spell card from this blue flashing deck at the top. And we've got Destruction. Cast at the start of your turn, or when you've just completed your move. It'll remove any face-up adventure card from the board. That's actually quite useful. It was always one of my favourite spells playing the game. Now we watch the other people drawing their spells as appropriate. I will quickly look at which characters we're up against. An assassin is player 3. A monk is player 2, and we've got the wizard as player 4. So we don't really have anyone who's physically strong. The assassin is the strongest one, with strength 3. Anyway, let's roll the die for our move. Okay, 2. So, we could go down here. Let's have a look at that space. Crags, roll 1 die. We'd have to roll at least a 4 to not have a negative effect. So we need 4, 5, or 6. So, ideally don't want to go there. So let's zoom out of that. The other alternative is this one. The Sentinel space. Now this, you can see here it says draw 1 card. Most of the spaces will be like that. They'll ask you to draw an adventure card, and they function as sort of encounters as you move around. But this particular one also has the Sentinel. This is one of the routes into the middle region. You can cross a bridge here to get in there, but you have to defeat the Sentinel, who has strength 9, which means he's ridiculously powerful. But we don't have to do that because we're not going to the middle region at the moment. So, let's go there and draw an adventure card. Flashing green deck at the top. Okay, we've encountered Pestilence. That's a rough draw for our first adventure card draw. Pestilence has befouled this region. All characters in the region must lose 1 life. At least it's not just us, it's all of the players, because we're all still in the outer region at the moment. So, encounter that. Takes effect. There we go. All the players lose a life from our stock of 4. And now we'll end our turn and the others will take theirs fairly quickly, which is nice. They don't dawdle too much. In some games, like Magic the Gathering Duels of the Planeswalkers, the turns seem to take forever because there's kind of a timer, but these are quite quick. So the monk encountered a goblin who's going to have to fight him. And basically that means roll 1 die, add it to your strength score, and then do the same for your opponent. Okay. Someone drew an invisibility spell. Not sure who that was. Went by too quickly, but never mind. Or someone cast an invisibility spell, perhaps. Anyway. So the assassin's up against the hobgoblin. Again, roll a die. So for a total of 6 there. And that guy just got a 3. Ah, that must be an assassin's special ability. The monster didn't get to roll a die. I'll have a look at that in a minute. Okay, so this guy draws an adventure card. Oh no, he's drawn a mule! That's one of the best cards in the game. There's a limit to how many objects you can carry. You can only carry 4, but if you get a mule, I think you can carry an additional 4. Damn. Anyway, the assassin. Yes, when you attack any character or creature, you can assassinate. Battle takes place as normal, except the victim can't roll a die to add to his strength. So we do not want this guy to land on us, because he can assassinate us. You can attack other players if you land on their space. You can choose not to, but yeah, that is an option. Okay, so let's roll the die. Alright, so we can go over here to plains, which is just draw a card, or over here to fields, which is also draw a card. There are various spaces that have different functions, particularly these corner ones. The chapel, the city, the village, and the tavern. Sorry. Yeah, that's right. Chapel bottom left, city top left, tavern top right, village bottom right. But we're going to bypass all of those, and we'll go to these fields over here. Look how friendly they look. We can't possibly encounter anything bad, surely. Draw a card. Pixie! So this is a follower. You can have an unlimited number of followers. You don't have to take them usually. We could leave the pixie here. And if we left a card on this space, then the next person to arrive here would encounter that card that we've left behind, rather than drawing a new one. But the pixie's a good follower. You don't need to roll the die in the forest unless you wish to, which is good. That's one of those places where you have to roll the die and you might get a bad effect. But you can choose to roll it, and if you do, you have to accept the result. Also, this is very useful. If you encounter creatures or other characters in the woods, you can evade them rather than having to fight them. So yes, we'll take the pixie. There are some followers you have to take, notably the poltergeist, and usually it's a bad thing. So we'll end our turn there. I will speed up the turns as we go along. Obviously, I'm still in explanatory mode at the moment. Alright, so the monk... Oh no, the monk's encountered a wand! That's so good! But he's encountered 2 cards. That was a draw 2 cards space. And you'll see, the next time you see an adventure card, that they have a little green number on them. Let's see if we can get eyes onto the wand. Yeah, that 5 there. I'll show you the next time I draw a card. And basically that determines the order in which you encounter them. So events, immobility. Okay. Ooh, someone cast immobility on the sentinel. Well, that's a good play, but only if you're trying to get past the sentinel. He isn't. So clearly the AI needs a bit of work here. They're casting spells that don't make any sense. Okay, what's this guy doing? He's just going to draw a card. Watch out for the number. There it is, number 5. That's a follower, Princess. Very handy. Won't explain why, unless we encounter her ourselves at some point. Which we probably won't, because he's got her. Okay, so let's roll. Number 4. Okay, so again I think these are just draw card spaces. Woods. Now, our pixie follower will allow us to evade combat in the woods if we run into it, so I think that's the wise choice. And draw an adventure card. Okay, here, look at the number there, 4. That determines the order in which you encounter cards if you draw more than 1 on that space. There are some spaces that go as high as draw 3 cards. So events come first, things like the pestilence is number 1, combat is usually number 2, strangers and followers and objects come further down the chain. Okay, so roll 1 die and place the hermit on the indicated space. So he isn't actually appearing here, he's appearing elsewhere. He'll give the first character to visit him there a talisman. So, we all need a talisman in order to get to the Crown of Command. So, it would be wise to try and get to the hermit as soon as possible. So we'll roll our die. 4. So he's going to appear at the oasis, which is actually in the middle region, rather than the outer region. So, you can see him up there, sort of, get that out of the way. Okay, so I'm not sure what happened there. He may have reshuffled the cards or something. But you see, sort of top centre, you can see the hermit card there on the oasis. Okay, so the monk has drawn a phantom. Clearly it didn't have any applications to him, whatever effect it has. You can actually have a look, but I don't think it pauses play, so we'll wait until our turn to do that. Oh, he's going to have to fight a demon. Craft 10. Rough draw. He's not going to win that. Not a chance. Yeah. He could have spent a fate point to re-roll that, but there was probably no point. So he's had to lose a life there. The wizard, player 4, is just going to draw a card there. Oh no, he's going to... Oh, it's the crags, so he's going to have to roll. And he got a good result on the crags there. He rolled a 6, which is a barbarian leads you out to gain 1 strength. So he's actually gained a strength point to compensate for his low strength. Okay. So, yes, I was going to say the other thing. If we look at this space, there's the hermit living on the oasis. Alright, so let's roll our die. Number 5, okay. So, we could go round to there, which is a forest, and we don't have to roll a die there because of our pixie follower. We could try to go into the middle region, which is why these are illuminated, but we'd have to battle the sentinel to get there. We have strength 2. Pretty sure we can't take the sentinel with its strength of 9. The maximum we could roll is 8, so not a chance. We could go over to the crags, where the wizard is, and try to fight the wizard, but he actually has higher strength than we do since he got that bonus. Or we could just encounter the crags. I say go to the forest and use the pixie. Yeah, you don't need to roll the die unless you wish to do so because of the pixie. So I'm going to choose not to roll. I don't think the potential benefits are particularly worth it. Okay, someone's casting mesmerism on who? Ah, okay, on the wizard. So someone's stolen something from the wizard. That's nice. I think mesmerism allowed him to steal either an object or a follower. I'm not sure which he chose to steal. Let's have a look. I think he stole an object. Yeah, no, he stole the princess. Good call, actually. The princess is a good follower. The prince and the princess will allow you to be healed for free if you go to the castle, where normally you'd have to pay to get some lives back. Devil. You're visited by a devil! But the effect will depend upon their alignment. Alright, what's the wizard up to? Draw a card. Oh, he just found some gold lying around in a ditch. Okay. So now we're up. 3. Okay. We haven't found anything tremendously useful so far, I have to say. I mean, the pixie is a good follower, but... gold. But what we're hoping for, really, is things like Talisman, and the ability to... Hey, do I not have a spell? Oh, I think someone must have nicked a spell from me or something. That's weird. Unless it's a glitch. I don't know. But anyway... yeah, what we're trying to do, basically, is build up some resources. That's the way I always play this. Oh, bad luck, monk. Try and build up some resources, bump up our stats a little bit, get some equipment, some handy gear and some handy followers before we try and make a run for the crown. Of course, we'll need a talisman first anyway. But the middle region here can be a little less forgiving. Oh, someone's got a raft. That means they can just boat across the river straight into the middle region without having to get past the sentinel. That's a good draw. Alright, what's the assassin doing? He's not attacking the other player, he's drawing an ape instead. Shouldn't be difficult, because they've got the same strength. So the assassin can take him out without too much difficulty. We've been lucky, we haven't had any combat to deal with so far. Okay. Wizard's going for the fields. What did he draw? Blizzard. A blizzard envelops the land. For 2 rounds, all characters, no matter what region they're in, may only move 1 space per turn. Alright. That's okay. I mean, it's not great, but it's fine. Okay, what's the space next to us? Ruins. Draw 2 cards. Okay. Because I like those because the more cards we draw, the more likely we are to find something good. We could go to the tavern, and if we roll a 6, we'll have the option to get into the middle region, because a boatman offers to ferry us across. A berryman. Ugh. If we roll a 5, a wizard could teleport us to any other space in this region, but I'm not really bothered about that. So I'll go for the ruins, and draw 2 cards. So 1, 2. And you can see Magical Vortex, as an event, has number 1, so that comes first. Magical Vortex absorbs all spells from every character. Ooh, that's nasty. We don't have any spells, so we're not affected. And then we have to encounter Marsh, which is a place, which means it'll remain there until someone destroys it with something like the destruction spell that was stolen from us. Whenever you land here, if your strength is less than 5, you have to miss a turn. Ours is, so we're going to have to miss a turn here, basically. Magical Vortex first. So now we'll witness everyone losing their spells. But that guy drew another one, because that's one of his abilities, thanks to having a wand. And we'll have to lose a turn to the Marsh, because our strength is too low. So that's unfortunate. Oh, 2 bags of gold. Some people have all the luck. Bah. Okay. The assassin's actually trying to assassinate the monk. This should be a slaughter. Oh, the monk has a modifier of 3, though. From objects and followers and such. Still, the assassin won anyway. Okay. And the wizard is going to pray at this... What's that? A shrine or something? I think it's a shrine. The wizard has been ignored. Okay. So, yeah, we missed our turn, so the monk had his, and he had to fight a giant. And he actually won! Good luck on... or that was good luck rolling a 1 there, frankly. We're a very religious set of players this time. Or a very spiritual set of players. We've got a priest, a monk, and a wizard who admittedly is not religious, but quite spiritual. So we've got another assassin-monk fight going down. I think the monk's going to win this one, actually. Oh no, he doesn't roll. So it's a standoff, so no one loses anything there. One of them could have spent a fate point to re-roll, but chose not to. Okay, the fairy seeks a champion. So she waits around for a good player to arrive. The wizard is, I think, neutral. I haven't mastered what the alignment symbols are yet. They're these ones just below the characters. Okay, so it's finally our turn again, and I think I'm going to leave it there for this episode. It's been, what, 20-25 minutes? I know there was quite a lot of explanation in this episode, but hopefully the pace is picking up a bit now that you have some idea of what's basically going on. And hopefully it's enjoyable to some extent to watch. This is Let's Play Talisman Digital Edition, available on Steam, early access at the moment, as it's still in development, $11.99 if you're in the UK, I think $15 if you're in the US. And if you buy the early access edition, you also get a bonus thing, Talisman Prologue, which is the same basic system, but it's sort of a series of quests rather than an outright board game like this. So anyway, you get that sort of as a bonus. Anyway, I will, as always, put a link to the game in the description below. Hope you're enjoying watching it. I'm enjoying playing it, and it's very nostalgic for me. So anyway, thanks for watching. Come back the next time round, and we'll see how the priest's mission to get to the Crown of Command continues. So far, it's actually been a bit futile. We haven't drawn much of use, but we'll see how it goes the next time. Until then, bye for now.